Singapore has one of the most diverse food scenes in the world, and among its many food traditions is Peranakan cuisine. Hidden away in Dempsey Hill is Candlenut, the world's first Michelin-starred Peranakan restaurant. Hi guys, I'm Anya. If you're new here, I travel around the world sharing food experiences, from Michelin-starred restaurants and fine dining destinations to local hidden gems. Today we're visiting Candlenut, the world's first Peranakan Michelin-starred restaurant. We found it by browsing the Michelin guide, as I specifically wanted to try something Michelin listed that didn't cost a fortune. At that point, we didn't look for a long or formal dining experience. The goal was simply to find a good lunch in Singapore, and Candlenut immediately caught my attention. I had never tried Peranakan cuisine before, and since it's such an important part of Singapore's food culture, I was curious to see what it was all about. Candlenut was founded by Chef Malcolm Lee, a Singapore-born Peranakan chef. His goal was to bring traditional Peranakan cuisine into a more refined dining setting while staying true to its roots. Peranakan cuisine developed from the communities formed by Chinese immigrants who settled throughout Southeast Asia and blended their traditions with local Malay influences. The result is a cuisine known for its rich flavors, aromatic spices, and recipes that have been passed down through generations. Rather than reinventing the cuisine, Candlenut stays true to those traditions. Over the years, Candlenut gained international recognition for its cooking, and in 2016 became the first Peranakan restaurant to receive a Michelin star. Candlenut is located in Dempsey Hill, an area you probably wouldn't find unless you already knew about it. We took the bus from our place, and after getting off the bus at the nearest stop, we walked uphill to Dempsey Hill. That walk alone already felt very different from what I normally associate with Singapore. Even though Dempsey Hill is quite central, it doesn't feel urban at all. There's no traffic noise and no sense of rushing anywhere. Instead, you're surrounded by greenery and a collection of restaurants, cafes, boutiques, wine bars, and specialty shops. Candlenut fits perfectly into that environment. We were genuinely surprised by how much we really liked that area, and it immediately became one of those places we knew we wanted to come back to. Candlenut is part of a larger heritage-style building that also houses a few other places, so you don't walk straight into a standalone restaurant. Inside, the dining room feels bright and airy. The space has high ceilings and a very open layout with plenty of daylight coming in. The interior is quite minimal, but the woven rattan-style lamps hanging from the ceiling really stand out and give the room character. When we arrived for lunch, the restaurant was already full inside. We didn't have a reservation and had just dropped in, so we were seated outside instead. We honestly didn't mind that at all. The outdoor seating is under a covered veranda surrounded by greenery, and it worked really well for a relaxed meal. We went for the tasting menu lunch, which costs 108 Singaporean dollars per person. We didn't do a full alcohol pairing, partly because this was our first meal of the day, so it was more like breakfast to us. That said, I did order one of their signature cocktails, a pandan cocktail. It was really good, very Malay in flavor, aromatic, slightly sweet, and it fit the food perfectly. The menu is called en macasse, and before the first course arrived, we were served a bowl of prawn crackers, which disappeared pretty quickly. Then the starters started coming. The first dish was Kueh Pie Tee, a crispy shell filled with baby squid and topped with a fermented shrimp dressing. This was fresh, slightly spicy, and full of flavor. A very good start to the meal. Next came Ngoh Hiang, a fried bean curd roll filled with seasoned meat and vegetables, served with a sweet flour sauce. This one reminded me a bit of a sausage, almost like a Peranakan version of something familiar. Very comforting and satisfying. Then we had charcoal grilled Margaret River short ribs satay with buah keluak sauce, a rich sauce made from a traditional black nut known for its earthy, slightly bitter flavor. The meat was incredibly soft and tender, with a slightly bitter note from the buah keluak. It was very good, but we felt it could have used a bit more crunch, so we ended up adding cucumber, which actually worked really well. We also had Bakwan Kepiting, a traditional soup with chicken and crab tofu bowls, tofu puff, and a rich chicken broth that had been boiled for 4 hours. The broth itself was quite light and clean, and the tofu bowls were really good. After the starters, the main courses were all served together, family style for communal dining. Everything came to the table at once, together with steamed Thai Homali rice, a fragrant variety of jasmine rice. One of the dishes was Pomelo Kerabu, a salad made from winged beans, pomelo, rose apple, ginger flower, mint, peanut, dried shrimp, toasted coconut mixture, and a kerabu dressing. This was very fresh and vibrant with a lot going on, but still very well balanced. Another dish was Ayam Salai Lemak chili api, made with smoked chicken, pumpkin, and a rich coconut-based sauce with plenty of chili. The chicken was excellent, and the gravy was packed with flavor. It was spicy, like properly spicy, and I really appreciated that they didn't hold back. The staff told us that the chicken wandering around outside always shows up when the chicken dish is served because it's apparently his favorite. I thought they were joking at first, but the moment the chicken arrived at our table, so did he. We also had Babi Assam made with Iberico pork jowl, fermented soybean and tamarind sauce, firm tofu, fried pig ear, and charred chili. The pork was incredibly good, and the fried pig ear added a lot of crunch and texture, which worked really well with the sauce. Also on the table was Udang Goreng Kunyit, a turmeric prawn dish made with wild-caught anchor prawns, long beans, red chili, rambutan chachapan, which is a spicy fruit-based relish, and turmeric leaf. The prawns were perfectly cooked and already peeled, which I really appreciated, and the sauce was deeply flavorful. Finally, there was Sambal, Terong, Telor, Belado, a deep-fried free-range egg served with pounded eggplant sambal and a fresh chili and tomato sauce. The egg was beautifully cooked with a runny yolk when you cut into it, and it worked very well with a tomato-based sambal. For dessert, we started with Ubi Kelapa, a very light dessert made with young coconut sorbet, coconut soup, shaved ice, pandan tapioca, and sago pearls. It was refreshing and not heavy at all. The final dessert was Pulut Inti, which I really loved. It was a fragrant glutinous rice cake infused with blue pea flour, served with coconut roasted with gula melaka, a traditional palm sugar commonly used in Singaporean and Malaysian desserts. It was very light, very balanced, and a perfect way to end the meal. And since we visited just after New Year, we also received a small extra dessert from the restaurant.
It's also steamed tapioca, but it's a tapioca cake with grated coconut outside and also a piece of edible bone.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
so please go enjoy.
The service at Candlenut was excellent throughout the meal. The staff were professional and happy to explain the dishes, the ingredients, and for those who may be less familiar with Peranakan cuisine, those explanations add a great deal to the overall experience. Overall, Candlenut offered exactly what I was hoping to find. It gave me the opportunity to try Peranakan cuisine for the first time in the world's first Michelin-starred Peranakan restaurant. What stood out the most to me was the depth of flavor in many of the dishes. There were often multiple layers of flavor in one bite, and it was clear that a great deal of work went into creating them. The dishes combined aromatic spices, coconut, and fermented ingredients which appeared throughout the meal. I also liked that the menu was designed to be shared, as that's traditionally how many Peranakan meals are served. Together with the greenery and relaxed atmosphere of Dempsey Hill, it added a lot to the overall experience. If you're interested in Singapore's food culture, curious about Peranakan cuisine, or simply looking for something different from the city's many international restaurants, Candlenut is definitely worth visiting. And with that, we reached the end of today's episode. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a lot more food, travel, and other content coming soon. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.